Bruce Lee's back injury almost ended his career. The way he came back from it might have killed him. Los Angeles, August 1970. A Monday morning. Bruce Lee stands in his home gym, bare feet on the wooden floor, preparing for his daily workout. Nothing unusual. This is routine. Bruce trains every single day. No exceptions. No rest days. No breaks. Training is his religion. Discipline is his God. The body is his temple, and he pushes that temple to its absolute limits every single day. Today's workout, good morning exercise. A weightlifting movement where you hold a barbell across your shoulders, bend forward at the waist, then stand back up. Simple, effective, strengthens the lower back, hamstrings, glutes. Bruce has done this exercise hundreds of times, knows it well, respects it. He loads the barbell. 135 pounds, not his maximum, but enough weight to challenge his muscles, enough resistance to create growth. Bruce believes in progressive overload, constantly increasing the difficulty, constantly adapting, constantly improving. He positions the barbell across his shoulders, feet shoulder-width apart, core engaged, breathing controlled, everything perfect, textbook form. Bruce begins the movement. Bends forward at the waist, hinge at the hips, keep the back straight. This is crucial. The back must stay neutral. Any rounding, any flexion puts dangerous pressure on the spine. Bruce knows this. He's careful, always careful. But today, something is different. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he didn't warm up enough. Maybe his form is slightly off. Maybe it's just bad luck. 1 degree of misalignment. 1 millimeter of incorrect positioning. That's all it takes. Bruce bends forward. The weight shifts. His lower back rounds, just slightly, just for a moment. But that moment is enough. A pop, deep inside his spine, loud enough to hear, sharp enough to freeze every muscle in his body. Then pain. Immediate, excruciating, electric, like someone thrust a knife into his lower back and twisted. Bruce's legs buckle. He drops to his knees. The barbell crashes to the floor behind him. The sound echoes through the empty gym. Bruce collapses onto his side. Can't move. Can't breathe properly. Every tiny movement sends lightning bolts of agony through his spine. He's injured, badly injured. He knows immediately. This isn't a muscle pull. This isn't soreness. This is structural damage. Linda hears the crash, runs to the gym, finds Bruce on the floor, pale, sweating, shaking. "Bruce, what happened?" "My back," he gasps. Something tore. Can't move." Linda calls an ambulance. They transport Bruce to the hospital. X-rays, MRI. The diagnosis is devastating. Sacral nerve damage, a herniated disc at the 4th and 5th lumbar vertebrae, severe injury. The doctors are blunt. "Mr. Lee, this is serious. You may never fully recover. Your martial arts career is likely over. You'll need to avoid any strenuous physical activity for at least 6 months, maybe longer. And even after that, you'll need to be extremely careful. One wrong move, one re-injury, and you could end up paralyzed." Bruce lies in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, processing. His entire identity is built on physical excellence, on being the best martial artist in the world, on pushing his body beyond what others think is possible. And now a doctor is telling him that's over. His career, his purpose, his reason for existing, gone because of one exercise, one moment of bad form, one pop in his spine. Linda sits beside him, holding his hand, trying to be strong. But she's terrified. Not just about Bruce's back, about what this will do to him mentally. Bruce's entire self-worth is tied to his physical abilities. If he can't train, if he can't fight, if he can't move like Bruce Lee, who is he? They discharge Bruce after 3 days, send him home with pain medication, instructions to rest, to do nothing, to let the injury heal. The recovery timeline, 6 months minimum, possibly a year, possibly never. Bruce spends the first week in bed, can barely stand. Walking to the bathroom is agony. Sitting up requires help. He's trapped in his own body, a prisoner of pain and limitation. For someone who spent his entire life mastering movement, this immobility is psychological torture. Depression sets in, dark, heavy, suffocating. Bruce doesn't eat much, doesn't talk much, just lies there, staring, thinking, spiraling. What if the doctors are right? What if he never recovers? What if Bruce Lee, the martial artist, the fighter, the symbol of physical perfection, is finished at 29 years old? Linda tries to help. "You'll heal. You'll come back. You're Bruce Lee, you're unstoppable. But Bruce doesn't feel unstoppable, he feels broken, defeated, mortal. Week 2, Bruce starts reading philosophy books, medical journals, anything about the body, about healing, about recovery. If he can't train physically, he'll train mentally. He dives deep into anatomy, biomechanics, rehabilitation science. He becomes obsessed with understanding his injury, what went wrong, how to fix it, how to come back stronger. He discovers something. The doctors told him he may never fully recover, but they didn't say he definitely wouldn't recover. They said he needs rest. He needs to avoid strenuous activity, but they didn't say he couldn't do anything. They just said he needs to be careful. Bruce starts experimenting. Small movements, gentle stretches, testing his limits. How much can he move before the pain becomes unbearable? Where is the line between rehabilitation and re-injury? He develops a plan, a training protocol the doctors would never approve. Progressive rehabilitation through controlled stress. He'll start with movements so small they're almost imperceptible, tiny muscle contractions, gentle mobilizations. Then gradually, over weeks and months, he'll increase the difficulty, push closer to the edge, dance along the boundary between healing and harm. It's dangerous. The doctors explicitly told him not to do this, told him to rest completely, let the body heal naturally. Don't interfere. Don't push. But Bruce can't accept that, can't accept passivity, can't lie in bed and hope his body fixes itself. He needs to take control, needs to fight, even if he's fighting his own injury. Week 3, Bruce starts electrical muscle stimulation, a device that sends small electrical currents through muscles, forcing them to contract without voluntary movement. It's painful, intense, but it keeps his muscles engaged, prevents atrophy, maintains some level of conditioning even while his back heals. Week 4. He adds isometric exercises, holding positions, no movement, just tension, wall sits, planks, modified versions that don't stress his spine. His back screams in protest, but Bruce pushes through, convinced that controlled pain is necessary for recovery. Linda watches with growing concern. Bruce, the doctors said rest. You're supposed to be resting. This is rest, Bruce argues. Compared to my normal training, this is nothing. I'm being careful. You're in pain. I can see it on your face. Pain is information. It tells me where the limits are. I need to know those limits so I can expand them. But what Bruce was doing to recover would create the conditions that eventually killed him. Week 8. Bruce is walking almost normally. The limp is mostly gone. The constant pain has reduced to a dull ache. He's making progress. Faster progress than the doctors predicted. They told him 6 months. He's planning to be fully functional in 3. Week 12. Bruce starts light martial arts training, shadow boxing, slow forms, nothing explosive, nothing that twists his spine, but movement, real movement, not just rehabilitation, actual technique. It feels good, like coming home, like being himself again. Linda is amazed. The doctor said you might never fight again. It's been 3 months and you're already training. Bruce smiles. Doctors deal in averages. I'm not average. But there's something he's not telling Linda. The pain hasn't really gone away. It's just managed, controlled. He's learned to push through it, to ignore it, to function despite it. His back isn't healed. Not really. The nerve damage is still there. The disc is still herniated. But Bruce has adapted, found ways to move that minimize the pain, found positions that reduce the stress, found medications that dull the sensation. He's not recovered. He's compensating. And compensation always has a cost. Week 20. 5 months after the injury, Bruce is back to full training, hard training, kicking, punching, lifting weights, everything he did before, maybe even more, because now he has something to prove, to himself, to the doctors who said he'd never recover, to the world. Bruce Lee is back, but he's not the same. Can't be the same. His back is permanently damaged. The nerve injury created chronic pain that will last the rest of his life. The herniated disc is a weakness, a vulnerability, a ticking time bomb. Bruce knows this, deep down, but he can't accept it, can't accept limitation, can't accept weakness, so he pushes harder, trains longer, takes more pain medication, more anti-inflammatories, more muscle relaxers, whatever it takes to keep moving, to keep performing, to keep being Bruce Lee. The medications accumulate in his system. His liver processes them, his kidneys filter them, but there's only so much the body can handle. Bruce is putting chemical stress on top of physical stress, pushing multiple systems past their limits simultaneously. Bruce goes to Hong Kong, films The Big Boss and Fist of Fury back to back. Grueling schedules, long hours, intense physical demands. His back aches constantly. But he doesn't stop, can't stop. This is his breakthrough, his chance to prove Hollywood wrong, to show that an Asian actor can be a global star. He'll rest after he achieves his goals, after he proves his point, after he conquers the world. Way of the Dragon. Bruce directs and stars. Even more pressure, even more stress, even more hours, even more pain medication, even more ignoring his body's warnings. Enter the Dragon, the biggest film yet. Hollywood production, international release. Everything Bruce has been working toward. He pushes through the pain, through the exhaustion, through the warning signs his body keeps sending. Because this is it. This is the moment. After this, he can rest. After this, he can heal properly. After this, everything will be worth it. July 10, 1973. Bruce collapses during a dubbing session. Cerebral edema, swelling of the brain. The doctors don't fully understand why. But Bruce's system is compromised. Years of pain medication, years of pushing through injury, years of ignoring rest, years of compensating instead of healing. It's all catching up. They treat him. He recovers. They warn him, Mr. Lee, your body is breaking down. You need to stop. You need real rest, not a few days, months, maybe a year. Let yourself actually heal. Bruce hears them, nods, promises he will. After he finishes a few more obligations. After Enter the Dragon promotes properly. After everything settles. Then he'll rest. He doesn't get the chance. July 20, 1973. Bruce takes a painkiller. Equagesic, a medication he's taken before, but this time his system can't handle it. The years of accumulated medication, the chronic stress, the damaged back, the exhausted organs, everything combines, creates a cascade failure, cerebral edema, fatal this time. Bruce Lee dies at 32. Not from the back injury itself, but from the way he dealt with the back injury. The refusal to fully heal, the pushing through pain, the medication dependency, the compensation instead of recovery, the belief that willpower could overcome physical limitation. The back injury in 1970 didn't kill Bruce Lee, but his response to it created the conditions that did. Years later, doctors reviewing Bruce's case recognized the pattern. Chronic pain leading to medication overuse leading to systemic stress, leading to catastrophic failure. If Bruce had rested fully in 1970, if he'd taken the 6 months, if he'd let his body heal properly instead of forcing a comeback, if he'd accepted limitation instead of fighting it, he might have lived. But that wasn't Bruce. Accepting limitation wasn't in his nature. Resting felt like giving up. Waiting felt like weakness. So he pushed and kept pushing until his body couldn't take any more. Linda understands this now. The back injury in 1970 was a warning. Bruce's body was telling him to slow down, to rest, to heal properly. But he didn't listen. He saw it as a challenge to overcome, an obstacle to defeat. He came back stronger, yes, but not healthier. He compensated, adapted, found ways to function despite the damage, but the damage was still there, and it was accumulating. By 1973, his body was running on fumes. The painkiller didn't kill him. Years of not healing killed him. The painkiller was just the final straw. The workout that injured Bruce's back in August 1970 didn't kill him, but the way he came back from it did. The refusal to fully rest, the aggressive rehabilitation, the medication dependence, the pushing through pain, the compensating instead of healing. Bruce Lee proved the doctors wrong. They said he'd never fight again. He came back in 5 months instead of 6. He made 4 more films. He became a global icon. He achieved everything he set out to achieve. But the cost was his life. The comeback that made him a legend also destroyed his body. The determination that inspired millions also killed him. That's the untold story. The workout that changed everything. Not because it injured Bruce Lee, but because it revealed a truth he couldn't accept. Some things need time. Some damage requires real rest. Some injuries can't be overcome through willpower alone. Bruce Lee learned that lesson, but he learned it too late. August 1970. One workout, one moment of bad form, one pop in his spine. 3 years later, dead at 32. Not from the injury itself, from refusing to let it fully heal. The workout that killed Bruce Lee wasn't the one that injured him. It was every workout after. Every time he pushed through pain, every time he chose training over healing, every time he proved he was stronger than his body's warnings. Until he wasn't. Until his body said enough. Until August 1970 finally caught up with July 1973. The workout that killed him was the refusal to stop working out. The comeback that destroyed him was succeeding too well. The strength that made him a legend was the weakness that ended his life. That's the truth. Nobody wants to hear. But Linda knows. The doctors know. Anyone who studies Bruce's medical history knows. The back injury in 1970 was the beginning of the end. Not because it was fatal, because Bruce refused to let it fully heal. And that refusal 3 years later killed him.